Hi, Hon. How are you doing? Good evening, good afternoon, and good day wherever you're joining us from. This is your favorite show, the Nigeria We Want. We want to welcome you to another another show. You are welcome. Thanks for joining us. With me are the panelists, Mr. Helvison Wachuku Igbo.
Yeah,
Mr.
good
Elvis,
evening,
welcome to
Vicky.
the show.
Good evening, Wally. Hi, dear. Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Oh
you.
yeah. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, viewers. Welcome back again to a very what is meant to be an interesting show tonight. We're glad to have you all here, and Mr. Victor, Chief Wale, welcome. Good evening.
Chief Wale Olaitan, Emi Oga don come back. So Mr. Olaitan smile don change patapata. Welcome to the show. We can hear you. We can hear you. Oh, we can't hear you at all. Can you please fix your? Are you still there, moderator? Hello, Twe Twe.
I think he's having network issues.
All right, please fix it and let's get started. So, how's your week been, Mr. Nwachuku?
I've
Ah,
been busy. As normal, I've been under the pump. But I'm glad we're at the end of it now. Usually, when it comes to Friday, I go, thank God it's Friday. Off.
yeah,
So, yeah.
fantastic. Ẹ̀gbọ́n Yẹmí Ṣódìmú, welcome
Hello,
to the show.
my brother,
How
my
are you?
sister.
Yeah.
Mo ṣì ń survive.
Yo,
A ṣì
thank
wà ní
God, thank
Nàìjíríà.
God. The cash crunch. How about the cash crunch? That's not getting to you at all.
Notice how I've changed my face.
The face is crunchy now.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. God will help us. So God will help us.
Amen and
So
amen.
Hmm. Many people are frowning. Many people are, no matter what they're trying to do with this thing, probably it's to me. Is it not going to be like a temptation to people to take whatever money comes their way? You know,
Hmm.
um, they're talking about uh, whatever they're talking about, but someone that can't, I see people posting, I had to beg friends to send 5,000 to for me to pay for what I've been waiting for the network to work for so that the money can go through. So how long are people going to just keep on hanging on without being tempted to be bribed? Egbon?
Um, for starters, there is no bribe. There is no money to bribe for starters, and I even think the incidence of bribery must have reduced tremendously because there is no money to bribe for starters. That's that. It's hard. It's tough. Very, very tough on the individual and all that. It's, however, because it's widespread, A, B, C, D, E,
Hmm.
F, G are feeling it. I just hope there will be a solution to this very, very soon.
Hmm.
Now, it has had its good sides as well. I must confess that.
So what are the good
Because
sides, Egbon?
I'll tell you one thing, without prompting, we now know we can exist with very minimal amount of cash. Seriously. But you cannot tell a mob that because of the way they will think. But
But,
one way or the
but
other, no, just hold it. Just hold it.
yeah,
We can exist with minimal amount of cash.
all right. Egbo, I
The aspect of flamboyance is
has
greatly
reduced,
reduced. It is reduced. That is
which
one.
is
Yes,
fantastic.
it has reduced.
Mm,
You do not spend what you don't have to spend now.
So no more spraying.
No, all those ones are greatly reduced.
Mm,
This is not justifying the situation.
mm,
Then I also I've not confirmed this, that it has enabled the naira to appreciate. Yes, because it's scarce against, appreciate even against some other currencies. The naira has appreciated.
mm.
Yes, it has. But there is hunger in the land, which is not fair, which is unfortunate. And this is accompanied by anger.
Mm-hmm.
It is accompanied by anger. But I just hope there will be a solution to this very, very soon. Everyone is affected. Everyone is
Egbo,
affected. It has
I,
reduced, it has also reduced the number of beggars, professional beggars. Let me put it that way.
mm-hmm. All those positives that you've mentioned are fantastic, provided the government can take it further. And taking it further, I mean, if they can
I'm
make,
sorry, have we started the program?
we're on, Egbo, we're on.
Oh my God. I thought we were just
Oh
having a
yeah.
private chat.
No. We've started. We started at the dot of 9:30, so we've
Oh,
already
whoa, whoa,
started.
whoa.
And I think we're using it as a way of educating people, because
Okay,
some
okay,
people
okay.
don't
It's all right.
actually understand
It's
what's
all right.
going on. And while we're doing this, we're trying to wait for Wale because he's having technical issues. So
Okay,
we're trying to hang on and wait for
okay.
Wale.
So we go on.
And so I'm in total support of what you've said, and I pray all those are the fact, Um, but it would have made people's lives much easier if the government had already done something first. And what do I mean by that? I mean to make sure that there is network, there's Wi-Fi, there is opportunity for people to connect and get that done, get their stuff done online without having to run into problems. You know, I was actually speaking to somebody this afternoon, late this afternoon. I said earlier, I mean, late last year, my husband, the doctor man said to the kids, no more using of um, a dryer. You do your washing, you take it out, you put it on the line. No more using the dryer because energy prices, they've increased down here. And it was so, he wasn't happy with the kids. But he forgot to do something. He forgot to install where they can put their clothes and their clothes after it's been washed. So the kids, whenever he's not home, they will just sneak and go and get their washing dried in the dryer. He caught them one day and he wasn't happy. So I said to him, you can't punish these kids. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. What do you expect them to do? Where would they dry their clothes? So it's the same thing here. You want cashless
Whoa.
society, make internet available, make it affordable, make it available anywhere in Nigeria. And then they can gradually grab onto it because it's easier to buy and sell. It's easier to interact with others in the market. That's where
Um,
I'm coming from.
if you permit me, you are very, very right. You are very, very right. But I'll tell you, there's an addition to that because I've taken my time to speak with some IT guys in the banking sector. And the reality is capacity, lack of capacity in terms of IT, not human capacity.
Yep.
But what they have on the ground, right, was when you have a 10-year projection, and within 2 years, your 10-year projection goes to the winds. In other words, your capability to handle what is happening in 2 years is inadequate.
Totally.
Technologically. So that's where we found ourselves. And I'm talking about the banking sector, the banks generally. So now they are scrambling to expand capacity in an attempt to accommodate the influx. So that's why you have backlogs, you have delays and all that, and it has led to the crisis we're having. We should have built up such capacities in anticipation of this new policy.
Exactly. Anywhere in the world, you don't carry currencies all over the place. You use your card. I mean, I made a mistake. I totally forgot that I was going to Nigeria. We traveled to Israel. We used that card. No cash, absolutely no cash. Just tap your card and off you go. And then we traveled to Nigeria thinking, yeah, we'll be right. We're using our cards. And then I got to Nigeria. They rejected my card because it's not a card from Nigeria. If not because we had no cash at hand, absolutely nothing. We relied on our card. Thank goodness we have a family member who was able to help us. I mean, just can you help us transfer this 2 million? Help us transfer that, help us transfer that. And when we got back, we were able to pay him back. It would have been a disaster, having no money, having no bank account, and being.
So when we fail to plan, we plan to fail.
And we realize that Nigeria, they only have, they're on 3G. I'm on 5G on my phone.
We are on 4G. We are on 4G.
But when I was there, it was 3G. Maybe they've increased.
We were on 4G. Maybe the part of town you were was on 3G. We are on 4G.
But you mentioned the naira has appreciated. Look, that's a good thing. I noticed
that wasn't an authoritative.
I noticed that. No, it has.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
And the exchange rates here, I think in the last few days has dropped by 10 naira. So against the naira has appreciated against the Australian dollar, which is a good thing. However, I'll quickly point out that these are unintended consequences of what's actually going on. This is just due to scarcity. Is it going to be sustainable on the long run? Or, is it as a result of the fact that people can't lay hands on the cash that they have in the bank? So for me, I guess it's, yet early days to say, oh, this is a good outcome from this policy that the government has introduced.
The pains are excruciating. I must say that the average trader, the petty trader, feels it. The average person that relies on those little services feels it. We still have the crowds in the banks, with the inability of the banks to be able to satisfy their customers and all that.
I understand we're back to the days of trade by barter. You have Coke, take my yam. You have rice. I understand people are doing that right now.
Well, it's that's just the reality of the situation. Seriously, I think neighbors are finding ways of exchanging things.
Of surviving.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we're taking a.
Look, can you hear me now? Just to be sure.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay, I think
so. We had to keep chatting, waiting for
there's
you
a conspiracy there's a big conspiracy to keep me mute
to
tonight.
silence you.
To shut you out, right?
So
That is what
of
that is
all
what
days,
happens,
that yeah.
Wale. That is
So
what happens to
yeah.
people who do not have PVCs.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so
So
let's just to clarify. So are we done with the what is trending? I guess
We've done it.
yeah. I think
We've done
we're
that.
we'll make that what is trending.
you've
We've talked about the scarcity of cash
uh,
and the benefits. Egbo highlighted some of the benefits of that.
okay.
So I think we'll just get on to today's show.
Okay, welcome to the program. No, this program is coming to you live from Australia, and we have inputs from our colleagues in Nigeria, Mr. Yamisho Dimo, and our producer, Mr. Alabi. On the show today, we very important. The election in Nigeria, the 2023 general election. We've been talking about this on for the last 12 months or more. Specifically, we'll be looking at the choice before Nigerians as 87.2 million voters get set to elect a new president on Saturday. This Saturday, the 25th of February. So we go straight to the discussion. Courtesy of our producer, Mr. Labi, provide a preamble to the topic. On Saturday, 25th of February, 18 political 18 political parties and their presidential candidates will be jostling for to registered vote. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) announced that have collected nation ahead of the and assembly elections, representing 6.26 million cards, which is 6.7% of the total, are still uncollected. The breakdown of the figure shows that Lagos State leads in the number of collected PVCs with 6.2 million voters, closely followed by Kano with 5.6 million and Kaduna State with 4.2 million. While INEC appears ready for the conduct of the elections, the political parties are also set for the exercise with a total of 164 million agents. Well, sorry, that can not be right. 1.6 million agents to man polling units and collation centers with 18 presidential candidates as well as 4,203 Senate and House of Representative candidates across 109 senatorial districts and 360 federal constituencies in the 36 states and federal capital, FCT. The voters are definitely spoiled for choice. So, what are the choices before Nigerians as they go to us to select a new president? So, I go straight to the panelists just to save time.
Wale, we could barely hear you. That line is breaking.
How will you describe the hello?
Hello, we could hardly hear you.
Hello?
The line is breaking.
You could hardly hear me. Okay.
Egbon, we can. Egbon,
Hello? Can you hear me now?
yes, it's okay now. Okay, what's the question?
Okay. So I was asking, my question panelist was what what are the choices before Nigerians as they go to the polls on Saturday? I'll start with Mr. Elvis Nwashuku.
Yeah, ma'am. What are the choices before Nigerians? So Nigerians have a choice to decide whether it's going to be um, business as usual, Nigerians have a choice to now go out there and be part of the political process. Nigerians have a choice not just to sit back and watch, but to also make a statement with the votes or with their votes. It is not enough to just stay in our homes and complain things are not all right. So this is an opportunity for every Nigerian who's got their PVCs to go out there and cast their votes in the ballots. Yeah, 18 political, is it 18 presidential candidates, right? You mentioned Wale, with three or four, as we can see on the screen, very very prominent candidates out there. Yes, they're spoiled for choice, and it's time. Hello,
Sorry. Yep.
is that an echo or is that
No,
so?
it's all right.
Oh yeah, and look, I can also from the conversations I've had with a number of people that I know people are eager to go out there and make a statement with their votes. I wish there'd be, um, you know, I wish that would be across, but unfortunately, that will not be the case. But yes, it's time for people to get involved and make a statement with their vote and stand behind whoever they feel will be the right person to um, change the trajectory and move Nigeria forward.
Well, while we're waiting for Wale, if you don't mind, I would also feel I would take on that same question. And obviously, Elvis has covered quite a lot of grounds. But my addition to this is that Nigerians have a choice between staying here and enjoying the benefit of good governance, and on the other hand, follow the Jackpot syndrome and just leave every other thing behind. Nigerians have a choice between being beclouded by tribal sentiments in making a choice and approaching this exercise with a bold and clear conscience, having in mind what the Nigeria they want. Nigerians have a choice looking at that spectrum of 18 candidates and not being fixated by just the first three or the first four or the prominent three or the prominent four. There's absolutely nothing wrong in making a choice amongst these three. Let me say that. There's absolutely nothing wrong in making a choice among these four. But we must bear it in mind that there are 18 people running. That is one. And that's another thing. Also, I get a bit worried about our fixation on the position of the president. We end up, let's say, even picking, most times we don't, picking the best candidate as the president, and then we load the National Assembly with misfits. The first election on Saturday is for both the presidential and the National Assembly, is both the presidential and National Assembly election. But we are so fixated on number one. And then we load the Senate with people who should never be found near the position of power. We load the House of Representatives with people who should never be saddled with authority. We have some very good ones in there. We have some very, very brilliant ones in there. We have people who mean well. I'm talking about past assemblies and even the present. But in the course of making our choice, we forget that the president alone cannot make this country work. These other people are very essential to it. Then we move to the next election, where we're going to pick governors and houses of assembly, and it's all about sentiments. It's all about, it is my party. When within you, you know that your party has made the greatest error of picking its candidates. When you know that the candidate of your party means no good for your state. We load the House of Assembly with people who barely know the difference between their right and their left. And then we say we are marking time. We're saying we're not moving forward. So these are the choices open to us. Do we want, is it the Nigeria we want? Is it the type that we'll be very proud of? Is it the type that will make us happy? Is it the type that we'll be proud to hand over to our children? Or the other way around?
All right, thank you.
That's my bit.
Yeah. While Wale is battling his network issues, I think I can volunteer here to step in and just so that we keep the show going. Dr. Vicky, do you want to have a crack at that one as well? I think that's for all panelists. What are the choices before Nigerians? You're muted. You're muted.
You both have actually done a great job of addressing that question. I think we should just move on to the next.
All right, so it will be so I'm going to be doubling up as assistant moderator and also, having this chat with you guys. So yeah, the next one, Dr. Vicky, this one goes to you. So INEC said about 87.2 million voters out of the 93.4 million total registered voters collected their PVCs in readiness for the poll. Now, that's quite a huge number. How impressed are we about this situation, and what does that portend? What does that tell us?
I am quite impressed. 87.2 out of 93.4. That's impressive. So impressive. I just hope that they actually, collecting a voter's card is one thing. Almost doesn't count. There's a song that says that. If you don't actually vote, it's useless. So this 87.2 is quite impressive, but let's pray and hope that they actually take it further and vote on Saturday. And it's saying a lot about Nigerians wanting a change. If they've taken time to go and collect this, I understand or have heard of the stress of getting their voters card. But if they've gone and get their voters card in readiness to go and vote on Saturday, it's saying we're tired. We want change. We want something better. We want this country to move forward. And they are ready to vote to make that happen. That's what I can see here. Egmont, what do you think?
I'm also impressed about the percentage of PVCs collected. I hope, just as Dr. Vicky said, I hope people will go out there and cast their votes in good conscience. There is, just as you said also, there is one thing to collect PVCs, there is another thing to step out and vote. People should, it's time that we ignored the traditional fears of, you don't know what will happen, there might be fighting, there might be this, there must be blah, 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 blah. I think government has taken good steps in terms of ensuring their security. In Lagos, for instance, we've seen the movement of the forces around, and this is a right signal. Unfortunately, I prayed we didn't need such, but with our situation, it won't be out of place. I just hope the security guys will approach this with a high sense of responsibility and restraint.
Yeah.
And restraint. It is also obvious that if we have the percentage, it's obvious that the youths are in a very high percentage in this. And that says something. That says something about disenchantment with the goings on.
Yeah.
That says something about the resolve to affect the desired change within the polity and governance. I hope they will go out there and not sit back at home watching Big Brother. I hope they will step out there and cast their vote. The more the merrier. Let our voices be strong. There are good candidates on that ballot. And I mean very good candidates on that ballot. Make up your mind, step out there and do the needful. The percentage is exciting. It is exciting. One other thing is, people have this tendency of going to the polling booths, doing the process of acknowledgement, or what's that right? What's the word for it? Where they ascertain
accreditation.
Accreditation. Thank you, Elvis. The process of accreditation, and then they just disappear into thin air. They just go back to their houses and sit back and wait for. I mean, it shouldn't happen that way. If you genuinely want a change in this country, you will go through the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shodimu and Dr. Vicky. And just to add a few words in there, and that's that's Nigerians saying, look, we're tired of the status quo. We want to be involved in this process. To make a change, to get Nigeria from one point to the other, it is my responsibility to also be involved in the process. I'm not just going to sit back and complain and say, oh, things are not right. I need to also be part of the change that I seek to have in Nigeria. So, yeah, that's another way to look at it, in addition to all the good points both of you have mentioned already. So, and that leads us to the next question. And Mr. Shodimu, I know you've spoken extensively on this, but I'll throw this one, to yourself. The INEC chairman recalled that 72.78 PVCs were collected during the general election in 2019, and that's a great leap. That's a huge number from where we were in 2019. What would you attribute for this improvement? I know this is somewhat linked to the previous question, but if you can give it a crack and share your view, that'd be really good.
The involvement of the youth, I must say, is a major factor. The last time we had the NSAS situation, and we know how it ended. And the young ones were aware that, never mind, we didn't see this through. Maybe the elections are coming. Let's go there. So there's been a lot of mobilization. There's been a lot of psyching up, Social media has added a lot to this. It has played a big role in this. And so the last time I went to collect my own PVC, uh, I was excited about the turnout of the young ones at the center. And if I am to take that as a reflection of what was happening in other centers, I think the youth are ready to make a strong statement in this. And you will only ignore them at your own peril, politically or electoral wise. So that's that. Then there's a lot of uh, anger out there in people making promises and not keeping them. And this, of course, one way or the other, is going to reflect on the outcome of the elections. I know that. Even the elderly ones are saying one or two things, a few things that might reflect, that might be it. However, which I said earlier, I came up with a song. Which I will share here. Because of this, there's been a lot happening on social media. A lot. And I just hope people will not stay on it and refuse to go and vote and expect that your neighbor's voice is your own voice. As something as simple as mo ti articulate lórí nínú ilé bọ́ síta lọ dìbò, èmi l'obedient nínú ilé bọ́ síta lọ dìbò, mo ti batify nínú ilé bọ́ síta lọ dìbò. Yes, and it can go on and on.
You only mentioned three, Egbon. You have to
go Musuru. So I'm actually playing on the words that are prevalent out there on the social media. These are the people who have been having the battles in social media, and these are coinages from what I've seen. Oh, well, you can add say I'm on my console, you might as well just put any of the other names there. But the point I'm making is, go out there, do out of your conviction one vote, that your vote could make a lot of difference. That's it.
Thank you. But one thing stands out for me, in your analysis, and that's where you mentioned, the youths actually, the involvement of the youths has actually helped in boosting that that number and the collection of the PVCs, and that's coming from the youths also being, tired, and I guess it's a payback time for the youths now. They've also seen it's not ideal for them to sit back and watch things go downhill, and therefore have made the conscious decision to be part of this process. Because with that one vote that each one of the voters has, can really make a huge change. So, thank you for that, Edmond. Now that leads us on to the next one. Wale is still battling, trying to. And coming to the show, and this is where Mr. Shedimo sits back and have a go at us, so you guys have this issue too in Australia.
They passed on their 3G, Abby.
Look, we are 4G. At this rate, I doubt your 3G. It's looking like 3G to me.
Anyway, so moving on. Yeah, so. There are concerns. There are still concerns about vote buying, despite the Naira design policy and even the scarcity that we Nigerians are experiencing currently. I mean, we have seen situations where people have lots of money in the bank, and yet they can't access that money. But there's still a huge concern, and most of it, from our understanding from the comments that have been made so far on social media and on the news, is geared towards dissuading vote buying. Now, Dr. Wiki, what measures do you think should be adopted to call election buying on the election day? I mean, votes buying on the election day. What
Before I
measures?
answer that, before I answer that, I just an hour ago I read about um, as of rep member in Rivers State who was arrested by the police because he had like 498,000 naira with him. So in cash. So they arrested him for that. We might say, oh yes, it has reduced, right, because of the scarcity of money, but it's still there. So what they can do is, um, you're caught. That's it. It's jail time. No, no lying, no nothing. You're caught collecting, you're caught giving straight to jail. It doesn't matter what your excuse may be. I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm whatever. Jail time. Nigerians, they respond to you making that law and following through. So what else can they do? Education. Keep talking about it, like what we're doing here right now. Um, you are selling your vote by collecting 10 naira, 100 naira, 1,000, 20,000. What's that going to do to you in a year or two or 10? That going to do to your children, to your grandchildren? So appealing to people's conscience through education, I believe with those two, something, I mean, people may be able to rethink that, you know, that's where that's my thought.
All right,
I have
I
an
know.
addition to that. Elvis.
Okay,
I have an addition to that, if you permit me.
go on. Sir.
Can I go on, please?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sure.
Yes. There's a degree of desperation on the part of politicians. It's so obvious. It's out there. And everybody wants to win. But there are rules laid down that should be followed. Or else we might as well be doing this in an animal farm. There will still be an attempt to buy votes. There will still be. The security agencies are on the lookout. But one thing I've discovered is one very simple way of reducing, if not eliminate it, it may not eliminate. One very simple way of reducing this is ensuring that people do not take their mobile phones into that booth. I think there is a law that says you can't take your phones even to the center or whatever. I'm not sure about that. But if we can stop people from taking their mobile phones into that booth where they thumbprint, it's going to reduce a lot. Why and how? What they do normally is to finish thumbprinting and then snap the picture of that slip of the ballot paper so as to show the buyers out there that I did your bidding, where is my money? Most times they pay them after confirming they have voted for them.
Okay.
Understand? So if we can stop people from showing that receipt or the authentication via their phone, right? it is going to reduce this thing. If you take your phone there for any reason, ensure it is dropped with the officers when you collect your ballot paper. Go in there, do your thumb printing, drop the paper in the box before collecting your phone.
Collect your phone. Mm.
It may look somehow, but I know that is what they do. There will be somebody a few distance away who is holding the cash to be paid. Luckily, there isn't much in terms of cash, but we don't know what politicians are capable of anything. They are capable of anything. But I believe that we can scuttle this a little if we stop that. People taking their phones into the booth. And when you are bringing that ballot paper out, it is not for you to display it, which is another thing. There is a way of folding it where your own thumbprint does not stray into another box. But you're supposed to fold it before you even come out and drop. So that, I think, I mean, these two ways can reduce this type of vote buying, because I mean, it's now left to you and whoever is offering you money, whether you just want to use your word of mouth to convince the person that I voted for you. But most times they look for evidence, and it's via their phones. They do it.
Thank you, Mr. Shodimo. Yeah. And look, you make a really good point, and that's what I was expecting INEC to announce when that video, or was it a sort of voice note of some dude in Lagos actually threatening residents of a particular area, I think somewhere in Egbe, and saying exactly, reading out exactly the situation or the scenario you described here. Go in, vote, and we need to see proof that you actually voted for our candidate. I was expecting INEC to come out with a position in that regard, but so far that hasn't happened. And as long as it's not a rule that has been projected by INEC, I doubt that that's going to be the case. I do agree that if that could be enforced, and then that will, reduce to the barest minimum vote buying activities. But at the end of the day, it's still up to Nigerians or voters to decide whether 5 or 10,000 naira is worth mortgaging their future for the next 5 years. I mean, that's something critical that everyone needs to think about. Yeah, Mr. Wale, thank you. You're back? I've been deputizing for you. Are you okay with the network now?
It's 2G. I told you.
All right. Yeah. So, moving on.
Hello.
Yeah, Wale, are you good? He's still struggling.
Yeah, so it's back on 1G.
Yeah. So, a critical and novel aspect of this general election is the use of.
I'm just listening.
Yeah.
I don't know where to comment. So.
Oh yeah. You can come in at we're stepping into the BVAS, the question around BVAS accreditation system. Wale, are you good? I think there's still a bit of an issue there. So yeah, I was saying one thing that stands out in this upcoming election is the use of bimodal voters accreditation system, popularly known as BVAS. Dr. Vicky, how confident are you that this is the speaking about the electronic voting system and where the results need to be transmitted straight to from the voting centers and straight to INEC? How confident are you about its success and capabilities for credible polls? I mean, and in answering that question, also factor in. I think it was somewhere in our Osun State where the INEC official was actually relying on a voter on a voter's network, the
Network.
data to transmit the same results to INEC. So over to you.
Hmm. I don't want to sound pessimistic, and I'm going to refrain myself. Um, I'm actually going to refrain myself. I don't want to be, I don't want to sound negative at all. I just want to hope that it works, that it hasn't been tampered with, that it's it's true and true. So yeah, I really don't have much to say about that, Elvis. Sorry.
I will take that, Elvis.
Okay.
Um, Going by past elections that we've done, maybe not as big as the one we are into now. Uh, it has gotten a fair percentage in terms of success. I think it has worked generally. It has its hiccups here and there, but when we consider the fact that we hardly manufacture anything, uh, this is what is available to us, and we are not using it for the first time. So I I think it's a lot better than what we had so many years back. It's a lot better. It's more reliable, and I think I mean that's what we're applying, and that's what has worked over the past few elections that we had. Uh, though used on smaller scales here and there, but it will work. It will work. Um, it's not actually even a question of half bread is better than orange. I think it's technologically it has helped us. And don't forget the fact that we are 4G, while some places are 2G, obviously. But we can make do with what we have. We can make do with what we have. Outside it, honesty of the operators is key.
Hmm.
It is very, very key. If we all resolve, or if the larger percentage of us resolve that we want to do it right and get it right, we will get it right. We will get it right. This is not a question of sermonizing. We will get it right. But even with the best of technology, if we decide that we're going to mess things up and mess up the future of this country, it won't work.
Hmm. All right. Thank you for expressing that opinion, Mr. Shodimu. Now, I know Dr. Vicky, you gave that one a miss, and that's you not wanting to sound pessimistic, especially given the fact that elections are, uh,
Tomorrow.
yeah, tomorrow, less than 24 hours. I'm sure
Mhm.
Nigerians will be heading to the polls to make that all important decision who
Mhm.
who leads them or who leads us. Now, but moving on to the next question, and this is around the constitutional requirements of becoming victorious in the presidential election. So beyond winning a simple majority, the winner of the presidential election must have at least 25% of the total votes cast into third, or at least 24 out of the 36 states in Nigeria. Now, given the fact that we've seen if few candidates stand out there and it looks like it's going to be a closely contested election, Dr. Vicky, do you see the possibility of a runoff election, or do we expect one of the candidates to meet this constitutional requirements and win the elections?
When we look at the numbers of the voters card that's been picked, and if people follow through with action, I'm thinking one of them may stand out. But some people will say absolutely not. So, stand out in the sense that the increment in those that have picked up their voters card, it's pointing more towards the youth, and we know what the youth want. We know what they are aiming for. We know what they are pushing for, and they've been so vocal on social media, which borderlines on being rude, extremely rude. And they've been able to do that. And because they've done it, with NSAS stuff, um, I'm honestly, I can see their candidate, stepping up and being seen more than the rest. Um, just because of what they've managed to do with NSAS. I'm not sure if Egmont can see what I see or agrees with me, but that's just based on my my readings of what they post, what they put out there. They've been pushing and they've been aggressive about it. It's on percent of it's unlike Nigerian youth. I lived in Nigeria till I was 24, 25, 24 and a half. I never voted. It wasn't part of it wasn't, if I'm not being forced to do it here, because if I don't vote, I'll get I'll get charged, and if I don't pay it, I'll be sent to I'll have to go to court for it. If not, I don't think I'll vote. Not now anyway, in the past. So the way the youth are driving this, are pushing this, are talking about it, it says a lot. And their candidate seems to, based on what I've seen so far, I'm saying that their candidate may be the one that will meet its criteria.
All right, Dr. Vicky, thank you. Because we're running out of time, and I can see Dr. Vicky has is speaking in parables tonight, which is okay. I
And
see you're
unlike
trying to
me,
react.
right?
You'll get your opportunity to react. But in addition, if you're going to react, you might just take this for us as well. Um, you know, while reacting, also factor in how we can ensure credible conduct and outcome of this general election.
A quick one, because of time. I do not see a winner emerging outrightly. I don't see one. I also foresee a lot of legal tango. We are going to end up in the courts. The tribunals will be up and running. That will be a lot of legal tango to this. And I just hope and pray that it doesn't lead to unnecessary crisis. I mean, we cannot afford any level of crisis as it is. We have enough on our hands. So that's that. Ensuring free and credible elections has to do with the politicians, the electoral officers, the electorate as well. We need to, if we follow the laid down rules, there shouldn't be issues. The rules are well thought of. They are all laid out there. If we follow them, it's as simple as probably even choosing a class prefect. But this is politics, and it comes with its desperation, it comes with its desire, it comes with its intrigues, and that's what makes it different from choosing a class prefect. It's a lot that is at stake, but it should not be treated as a do or die affair. Let's follow the rules. Let's go there, vote according to our conscience. If you want to go back to your homes, go back to your homes. If you want to stay to ensure that what is done is rightly done, stay at the distance measured out for you and watch proceedings until declaration of whatever in your booth is done. We'll also appeal to the security agencies to be firm, to be just, to restrain themselves from being jumpy about their actions, and ensuring that all is done well. Listen, there's only one country which we can boldly call ours, and it is called Nigeria. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Egbon. Yeah, thank you for all your contributions. And just to recap, I'll just make a few points here. The panelists have asserted that Nigerians are usually fixated on the number one citizen, whereas taking for granted the those who are voted into the National Assembly, whom the panelists have described as some of them being misfits. Panelists have agreed voters card. Collecting voters card is one thing, and that voters or Nigerians actually need to go there and exercise their voting rights. It's no use picking up those cards and not making use of the same. And panelists have attributed the large number of people going out there to collect their voters card. This has been linked to people desiring a change and not wanting the status quo to remain, but people wanting to also be part of the political process. And still in that vein, the increase in the PVC registration is also linked to youths wanting to make a statement after their experience with the EndSARS protests. Panelists have advocated for jail term for both vote sellers and buyers, and have also stated, in order to scuttle this sort of arena where people are going and buy or sell their votes, to not allow voters go in with their phones. And we've also agreed here tonight that Beaver's system is more reliable than the old system that we used to have, and that's a good thing. So I'll hand over to Dr. Vicky to now take the show from here.
Mr. Helvis, thank you for deputizing for Wale Olaiton, who couldn't participate as planned due to technical issues. Thank you for doing a great job. Well done. Yeah, you've done a good job even for your first. So, yep. Thank you. And Egbon, thank you for great discussion. We've done well.
Elvis has always had that in him, so it's just a piece of cake.
Exactly. Just stepped in and it was just like gliding, you didn't have to even practice. So that was well done. Thank you. Thank you everyone
no
for
thanks
your
to
time. It's not 2G. It's his laptop. Okay, so don't pick up.
Egbon never seizes. He never seizes an opportunity to get his pound of flesh. So have a field day. No problem.
We've done well. We've done well. Let's hope for the best for Nigeria. Let's hope that we will get the Nigeria we want tomorrow, starting with them choosing, the Nigerians choosing the best person for the job, not just the party or a family member, but the right person. Let's hope and pray that people will actually, Nigerians will actually go out and vote and not just keep their voters card in their bags. Go out and vote, exercise your right.
Dr. Vic, Dr.
Yes.
Vicky, sorry, just a quick one. There's something we didn't mention, and which actually should have been thrown, maybe, open here. I am personally worried about some parts of the country, particularly the East, where people are being threatened that there will be no elections and all that. I am a bit worried about that part of the country, and it may have an effect on the outcome of our votes. But let's hope the authorities are able to take care of the situation. But I'm really worried about
it. It is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I understand the man who's making that threat in Finland has also was arrested. Again, I'm not sure how far it's true, and has also been released. For me, is honestly, excuse my language, is marks of stupidity for someone to toe that line. You've been screaming, you're constantly being marginalized, and you now have a candidate from your part of the country who seems to be making sway, who has seen that acceptance, and who everybody, irrespective of their tribe or where they come from, see as a credible candidate, and you want to scuttle that opportunity, and you come out tomorrow and say you're being marginalized. In my opinion, honestly, you're outrightly stupid. That's just the way I see it.
Which is really sad. It's so sad, but with what we have, let's just hope things work out tomorrow. I know my candidate, Edouard. I know you know your candidate, and Elvis. We won't be putting it out here, so let's just round it off tonight. Thank you to all our viewers for joining us and for making comments. Let's see if well done, Elvis. That was from Wale. Tolu Felicity said, well done, Deputy Moderator Wachuku. God bless you all, Dr. Vicky, Wale Olaiton, Yemisho Dimu, Elvis, and all that. So we'll round it up tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us and for making this show one of the great shows. We will be back again next Friday, same time.
When we will hopefully be celebrating a successful elections, hopefully.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right, you all take care. Have a lovely weekend. God bless.
Good night.
The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Giant of Africa. Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. The Nigeria we want. With Vicky Omi Folaji. Yemisho Dimu. Wale Olaito. Abisi Washuku. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria on PVO show. The Nigeria we want. Great Nigeria. Giant of Africa.